Chamber. There was an article in the real estate section about accessory dwelling units. Has everybody heard about accessory dwelling units?
Yeah.
They are fantastic. They are new to Arlington. So you are guaranteed not to get the same story twice if you go in there and ask questions. But basically, there's an application process, and you have to sign some forms that you promise not to use the product as a bed and breakfast or something like that, or an Airbnb or whatever the restrictions of the day are. But basically, you have to have enough property on your, so it's for a single family homes. I had a gentleman call me about a duplex and do an accessory dwelling, with a duplex. Now, if you could do a basement and you had a separate entrance and all those sort of things, they could certainly do an accessory dwelling unit in the basement. But if you wanted it back in your yard, it has to be just like a garage, detached garage. It has to be 8 feet from any part of the house, and it has to be, if it's a story and a half or less, it can be a foot off of the back inside property lines. Otherwise, if it's a full 2 stories, it has to be 10 feet off the side and back property lines. So those are all important things that have to get in there. So we have the first step of our process to close. The first step of our process is to come out there and look around. No question is too silly. No question is too fun. Call me up. We can talk about it. If you have someone that just has something they're curious about, I stand on the board for the Phoenix House here in town, and they have their maintenance guys that call me and ask questions about mold remediation or leaky whatever and things like that. The first step for me to evaluate your property, if you're thinking about building a house and you have the land, I really need to see that plat. If you're thinking about doing an addition to your house, I'd like to see a plat. If you're thinking about doing an addition, I'd like to come over to the house and walk around. And sometimes that visit takes 5 minutes. It just depends how much you want to talk and think about it. But just to get to look at the lay of the land, because when I see your house, I notice that the gas meter needs to be moved and the power needs to be moved and whatever's in the wrong place, and you're probably too close to your property line, and all those things that just bubble up to me in a big old hurry. So then I come back in for the second conversation, and in the second conversation I have a ballpark budget, and it might be that you can do this addition on the back of your house for between $200,000 and $400,000, and you say, how the F is that helpful for me? Excuse me, I can't. So you say, how is this helpful for me? But in that detail, there's going to be 46 line items that show how small shift in cost on any of those line items can add up to a big thing. We built either half of a duplex, so we did both halves of a duplex. We did the exact same addition to both halves of the duplex. We did them exactly the same way. Same kitchen, same number of bathrooms, same roof line, same everything. There was the price was roughly $300,000 for each of them, for each half. We added a lot to them. They were huge. At the end of the day, there was a $60,000 to $80,000 price difference between what they actually spent on each one of them, just because of the way they picked out fixtures, the way they finished off their flooring, their cabinets, their